Hello you guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Anna. This is my first video. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know what it's about. Also, the title already says it. I'm going to be talking about self-love. I just want to kind of apologize maybe on forehand, because English is not my first language, it's Dutch. So I might get a little lost sometimes with the translation, and I might say silly, things in a silly way, but just remember it's not my first language, so be a little patient with me. I'm trying, and at least the most important thing is that you understand me. If you don't, just place a message and I will try to explain myself more clear. So what I was talking about is self-love. I think that this is a very, very, very important subject to start with, to mention. I have been on this journey myself, from feeling like I was not worthy, from feeling shut off from love, and I had a couple of discoveries. So this is something that I want to share with you. And I'm going to make more videos as well about different subjects, and maybe some can inspire you, maybe they can just give you information. Just let me know what you think of it. Well, let's just face it. What is it that we desire the most in life? It's love. We all want to be loved. We all want to be happy. We all want to be validated. We all want to be worthy. And it seems that the more desperate we need it, the more lack we feel of it, the less the world is giving this to us. Did you ever notice, like, the more you kind of need, the more you want to be in a relationship, the harder it gets to find a loving partner. You find an asshole, or you're alone. And when you're in this state of, I don't really need anything, I'm just happy the way everything is, suddenly the love of your life is coming. So there is this something going on. There is a reason for this. Well, let me first start to tell you this. Everything is energy. Everything is vibrating on a certain frequency. You are vibrating on a certain frequency. Everything is magnetic. You attract the things that are on your frequency. So if your frequency is high, when your frequency is high, you're happy, you feel love, you feel safe, you feel good. And this is what you will attract. You will attract positive situations that will make you feel even better. You will attract people that are also on a high vibration. If you are on a low vibration though, you will attract things that are on a low vibration. And like a very easy example is, even food has a frequency. When you feel bad, that's when we tend to kind of grab junk food, because this food is on our vibration. But it's better to do the opposite, because you can raise your vibration by eating healthy, eating higher frequency food. But I'm kind of wandering off. I'm gonna go back to my talk. What I was saying is that everything has a frequency. So you have to understand that, you know, we tend to blame the external world. People are doing this to us, we attract this situation happens to us, this blah 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 blah. But you know what? Everything that happens in your life is a reflection, it's kind of a mirror. Even also your emotions are a mirror, because your emotions are like a perfect, clear indication of on what vibration you are, on what frequency you are vibrating. Because if you feel good, you're on a high frequency. If you feel bad, you're on a low frequency. It's so freaking easy. But you know, like what I said, the external world is just a reflection of how we are feeling, of how we are thinking. So what this means, if you change your vibration, if you change your frequency, you will start attract different things. You will start to make a change. So what I'm actually saying is that everything that is happening to you is not just happening, it's not out of your control. You cannot control the outside world. You probably have tried. You probably have tried to control other people. Situation, well, how did that work out for you? It probably didn't work out very well. Well, I'm going to tell you, you can control it, but you cannot, like, in a different way than you've been doing. You can control only yourself, and when you have this knowledge and you know how to kind of use it, you can change things around. You can change your frequency and you will attract different things. I'm gonna continue on that subject, but first I want to say something else in between, because when we talk about self-love, there is also this kind of misunderstanding, what's the word? Misunderstanding, let's just call it like that. When you love yourself, it gets kind of interpreted. I hope that I'm saying it right. At least you probably know what I mean. Like you're a very like selfish person, like you're like it's egoistic, it's selfish. When you love yourself, like you're this narcissist that's like so full of himself. Well, let me tell you this, the self-love that I'm talking about has nothing to do with this idea of loving yourself. This has nothing to do with true self-love. Everyone should love themselves. The narcissistic people that seem like they think that they're the most important in the world and that they want to constantly be in the spotlight, maybe take things away from others, those people are not loving themselves, because this kind of behavior comes from a lack of self-love, and they're trying to kind of fill this void that they're feeling with the kind of tricks that they've like created in their life. And I'm also gonna tell you this, you probably know someone like this, we all do. You also have these people that are like giving, and they say like, I give so much to everyone, I would do everything for everyone, I sacrifice myself constantly, but I just don't ever get anything in return. And they feel empty, they feel tired, they feel like everyone is abandoning them when they need something. They feel like, well, I don't have to explain myself further, you probably know this. And I'm gonna tell you, also this behavior, it comes from the same place as the narcissistic behavior, because these people also have a lack of self-love, but they try to get it from someone else by giving, but they're giving while they're not like, while they have a void, so they will always feel like they give too much, and they will always feel like they don't get anything in return, because they're giving away what they cannot really miss, what they should be giving to themselves. So what I'm talking about with the self-love that is so important, and that everyone should do, and no one should ever feel guilty about loving themselves, is just, you have to fill your own cup. You have to start filling your own cup first until it overflows. And whatever overflows is what you can give to others. And more and more and more will overflow. That's the beauty of it. Hello, cat. Don't fight. Where was I? So yeah, that just to kind of get this picture about self-love out of the way. Well, how can you raise your frequency? How can you get to this place of self-love? Well, that's actually pretty simple. Like I said, your emotions are your guidance system. Your emotions will tell you what feels good, what feels wrong. Go towards what feels good. Here is your answer. Your frequency will rise. But there is something more, and I have to really kind of find how I'm gonna explain this. Let's see. Well, your thoughts create, because your thoughts have a certain frequency which will attract the things that are a match with this frequency. You have a conscious thought, but there is something more happening in our brain. When we have been thinking a thought, very, very often what our brain does is it does place the thought in your subconscious, and in your subconscious it kind of gets on the auto repeat. It will be played over and over and over and over again, so it kind of becomes a belief. It kind of feels like it becomes a part of who you are. It can like kind of draw how you see the world around you. And this, when these kind of subconscious thoughts are very negative, it's pretty hard. It can be pretty hard to just be positive in like a second. And this is where loads of people kind of get stuck, because they're like, I'm trying to be positive, I try to do this and that, but still I don't know how, and I feel like I'm stuck, and I have this, and you still have this bad things that you're attracting, or you have these emotions that you just cannot get, just won't go away, you cannot understand them. Well, the thing is, this has everything to do with what is going on in your subconscious, because when you've been thinking one positive thoughts in your conscious, but you have this belief that is the opposite, you've been thinking that over 10 times. So you can imagine that this belief is much more powerful, and this is what we all have. Well, these beliefs mostly are kind of created by a traumatic event that has happened in our life, probably in our very early stages in our life. And you know, you have this, you can be like really traumatized. Of course, this is like very obvious that you have this kind of fears, kind of negative thinking, whatever, because you've been through this. But you have to understand this. When we are very, very small, we cannot really rationalize situations. So it could be that there has been a situation in your life that you cannot even remember, and that you cannot even imagine would make such a big impact, but it could be a very big reason for a belief that is in your system that you just cannot get out. And I just want to explain myself with an example, because I think that makes it the most clear. You have this man. This is actually based on a true story from someone, and this man has it all. He well, let's say no, he has it all, but he's very unhappy. He always, in his life, he always had this feeling of not being good enough, and it was especially towards his father. And the strange thing is, he was brought up in a very loving family. His father was loving, but he always had this feeling of not being good enough. And he went to college. He had his diploma with very good grades. He got an excellent job. He got a beautiful wife, a big home, lots of money, beautiful kids. He had it all. He had it all. That's what you would think. But he was still unhappy. And even though he had everything that he was working so hard for, he still felt that he was like not, he still felt like he needed to prove something, that he needed validation from his father. He still had this feeling. So what was actually going on, and this is what he discovered along the way, is that as a baby, he was lying in his bed and he was crying, and his father came up to him to kind of comfort him. But before the father was there, the phone started ringing, and the father decided to first pick up the phone and then pick up the baby. At that moment, the baby could not rationalize what a phone is, and at that moment the baby felt that something else, even though he's crying, when something else is there, that something else is more important. This is based on a true story, and this discovery has been with ayahuasca. I've done ayahuasca as well. I'm going to tell you about ayahuasca in a different video, but this is just an example of how the human, the belief system kind of works. And you know what, like I said, our thoughts have an enormous power to create. And if you want to start creating, if you want a like, I'm just not gonna be too much talking about the law of attraction. I love the law of attraction, but I'm just, I think like everyone kind of believes that you attract what you feel inside. If you feel happy, you will attract positive things and positive people. I think that everyone kind of believes in that. So what I'm actually telling you is that on one hand, you should follow into the direction that feels good, into the direction of self-love, but I think that it would be good for everyone, and especially the people that are like not really satisfied and not feel like kind of feel stuck in any way. I would advise to take this moment in your life, this period of time in which you completely focus on yourself, getting to know yourself, discovering what your negative beliefs are, where they came from, because in that way you can let go. You don't need them anymore. You can change them. And for the people that do believe in the law of attraction, this is kind of the main reason why the law of attraction does work or does not work. It's because of the subconscious thoughts that we are not aware of. And getting to know yourself, real self-knowledge, there lies a great power in knowing yourself. And like, you can call it healing. I would prefer not to call it healing, but to call it letting go of what you don't need. And by letting go is, you have to be aware. You have to be aware where what is going on, what your thoughts are, what your subconscious beliefs are, and where they came from. In that way you can just let them go, because you don't need them anymore. You're gonna create a much better life from here on. And like I said in the beginning, I've had a journey myself. I've had quite a hard childhood. There's been a lot of traumatic events happening, and my biggest fear in life was that I was just never going to be happy. I was just never going to be loved, because I did not grow up in a safe environment. I grew up in an environment that showed me that I was not worthy of love, and that the world was scary, and that and I had this fear. It came to a point that I felt like I cannot really go on like this anymore. So I started a search for change, and I found out a lot of things along the way. I've tried a lot of different things, and I think I'm gonna make videos about that as well. Not to convince you to do what I did, but just to share my experience with you. Maybe it can help you, maybe it can inspire you, maybe you just find it interesting. Everything is okay. You don't have to like do it. I'm not gonna convince you. I'm just gonna share my experience. So well, thank you very much for watching. This is my first video. I'm really sorry if it's a bit, maybe I get stuck a couple of times, or maybe it's a bit unclear. If you have questions, if you want me to kind of add more information because I confused you in what kind of way, you can just comment and I will try to respond as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know, feel free to let me know what you think of it, and if you have a request for a subject that you would like me to talk about, you can just tell me. I might consider making a video of it if I know something about it. And well, I wish you all a very great journey yourself. I hope that everyone that is watching this video will find their happiness and their self-love, and that you will know how beautiful you are and how worthy you are, and that you deserve to get everything that you want. I really hope that you will. Maybe you already believe it, and if you don't, I hope that one day you kind of will, that you will find your right way towards happiness and get everything that you desire. Thank you so much.